Hello, and welcome to our Values of Science project. The primary value we believe science is meant to encompass is that of sustaining life. Join us as we delve into the processes behind life and what makes the conservation of such an effort vital for our everyday function and survival. In order to support our value, we have referenced these two texts, the first of which is an article by John Toon, which seeks to explain the value of perceiving seemingly destructive forces, in this case viruses, through the benefits they provide for recycling nutrients at the surface of an ocean ecosystem. The second text we referenced is a TED Talk given by Angela Belcher outlining the importance of looking for solutions to shortages in order to sustain life by turning to using genetics and viruses to minimize waste and maximize the productive output of these processes.
How can the same processes that are used to create abalone shells help sustain life? Angela Belcher proves this by turning to nature for inspiration on how to engineer viruses to create extraordinary new materials. She brings together a field of materials and engineering that can create batteries and clean energy sources. To create batteries, clean energy sources by means of using precision with regards to utilizing elements through methods that minimize waste but yield vast amounts of energy. She explains, an interesting idea is what if you can take any material that you wanted or any element on the periodic table and find its corresponding DNA sequence that coded for a corresponding protein sequence to build a structure, but not build an abalone shell, build something nature has never had the opportunity to work with yet. She continues on to show how the same genetic processes in creating an abalone shell can also be used in viruses to produce more cleaner and renewable sources of energy, this way limiting the amount of natural resources and providing a better lifestyle for humanity.
One of the most important aspects of sustaining life is creating an atmosphere of sustainability. Belcher most vehemently argues this point when she explains that the other thing that is beautiful about biology is that biology gives you really exquisite structures, nice length scales, and these viruses are long and skinny. We can get them to express the ability to grow something like semiconductors or materials for batteries. Through this, Belcher explains the need to conserve materials and produce little waste in the process while producing something that can be necessary and required by all. This can be further linked to Toon's article where Toon explains that the need to sustain life by explaining how critical it is to recycle nutrients into an ecosystem, claiming that when these cyanobacteria die from infections, their carbon is likely to remain on the top of the water column, where it can nourish other microorganisms if they are eaten by larger creatures. Their carbon is likely to sink deeper into the ocean. This explains the necessity of the process of systematically destroying some of the microorganisms in the ecosystem in order to assure for further sustainability of the ecosystem.
Now we will delve into the mode of our presentation. Here is our title, shown in the upper left-hand corner, in order to clearly explain our position on the argument and encourage others to look further into sustaining life.
It should be noted that in the center of our first screen, we have a number of GIFs meant to bring life to our webpage and in doing so, animate it in order to draw the reader's eyes towards the information. In doing so, we also hope to evoke images of nature and the importance of sustaining this nature and life as well.
As part of our introduction page, we wanted to ask questions in order to engage the audience. The picture of a plant placed in a hand symbolizes the idea that life is in our hands and we have the ability to influence the world around us. As part of our introduction, this section is meant to introduce environmental concerns.
At the end of our introduction, we initiate a call to action by claiming that these processes, though natural, do require some participation, and we all benefit from the sustaining of the natural world around us and suffer when that natural world is taken away. This section largely represents a call to action and the benefits that could result from this call to action. Our first section of Finding Life Where There Is None seeks to sustain life by looking in the most unlikely places. We refer to both of our texts in this section in order to see where life can truly be found to sustain greater growth.
This page, called Creating Sustainability, is meant to create a sustainable atmosphere for the overall sustaining of life. We refer to the articles for support.
One of the final aspects we wish to draw attention to are the numerous pictures meant to illustrate the processes being shown behind sustaining of life. Through this, we wish to truly illustrate the process and further call action to our claims.